somebody had like this like a Civil War character that he did, and he was like a Southern like Confederate like guy who was basically. Greetings, sports fans. Charles Cohen and Isaac Moskowitz here on a nice sunny Saturday afternoon. It's about 12 o'clock, and we are all ready and set for Kingswood Oxford versus the Dragons. This is going to be a very good game. Again, they're not Kingswood Oxford. They're not Dragons. They're Wyverns.
Absolutely. But we like to say the Dragons versus the Dragons, and this has happened before. Nicer day, too. It's about completely sunny and 72 degrees. Perfect day for some lacrosse, Charles. I'm excited, and a bit of a rematch for Kingswood Oxford. GFA won the last one, and the Wyverns looking for a way to get some redemption here on this nice Saturday afternoon.
Well, I get to take off the jackets and the pants here. It's really, really nice and warm. We'll see if that plays a factor in. I know with the pads, with the helmet, everything can get really hot. But I mean, when I played soccer, I thrived in the heat. I didn't like the cold. Maybe some people play that way. Some people like the cold. It's really a matter of preference. But we'll see if it affects anyone out here in their game today.
Absolutely. When I play tennis, I usually like it a little bit colder because you're moving around a lot. But it's really to each his own, and we'll see how each player likes to play here. But I know it's a beautiful day, and sun is shining on equal parts of the field, so there's not going to be any problem with the shading. So that's definitely not going to be something that affects the game, and we'll see how this one shakes out.
Dragons have been very, very good on face-offs all year, and we'll see if that continues. I know they have played KO, like you said before, and it was a win for the Dragons, a pretty big win. We'll see if Kingswood Oxford have changed up their game since last time. I know it was right in the middle, or right in the beginning of the season. It was, their second game that we did on a broadcast?
Yeah, I think so. It was a really early game. It might have been the second guys game that we did on a broadcast, but they played really early, and GFA was able to win that one. Really, they won on, just like you said, winning the face-off circle and then moving well offensively. They had good movement off the ball. They were communicating well. They had a couple of good screens, get people out in space and open, and then they had the quick pass and shoot that ends up in the back of the net. And so they're going to try to continue more of that, and Kingswood Oxford is going to try to figure out GFA's defense, and it's been hard for pretty much any team to figure out either the girls or the guys' defense. They've just been really red hot on their offense. They've been red hot.
Yeah, and their defense hasn't really been called into many situations because they haven't had any time on defense. They've commanded the game through the offensive zones thanks to those face-offs, and that's really how you take command of a game early. It's by winning those face-offs and then taking as long as you really want in the offensive zone and ending up scoring. That's really what their game plan is. They don't have a lot of turnovers against them. Now, the key to victory for Kingswood Oxford is definitely either one, taking command of the face-offs and doing that early, or two, standing pretty tall on defense and getting some offensive opportunities back and having some turnovers. We haven't seen the Dragons turn over the ball really at all. They've been very clean. That could change today, though.
Absolutely.
Especially since they've seen them before. They know what they're doing, and they want some revenge after losing that first game earlier in this season.
Absolutely. They have some time to scout some film. Sorry, GFA coaching staff. And they're looking for some way to get back at GFA and figure out their offense and make sure they also can split the defense and see if they can use an offense as their best defense.
So 12 minutes on the clock here at the start of the first quarter. And we'll see who wins this first one here. This face-off coming, and it's won by GFA. A nice, strong face-off win as they'll have the first offensive opportunity of the game. All eyes on the big star of last game, Josh Kitt, having one of the best games I've seen out of a player all season, especially with had a hat trick. Had a fantastic goal going near corner. Really got me excited. Another thing that's getting me excited is here come the Wyverns on, guess what, a turnover on the first possession for GFA. And we'll see what Kingswood Oxford can do with this possession, and GFA's defense being called up into action right at the start of the game, which is not something we're used to. We'll see what Kingswood Oxford can do, and the Wyverns try to get that first goal of the game. That would be very big for the momentum shift in this game.
Absolutely, yeah. If they can score first, they establish their offense early. They tell GFA, watch out, we can perform well on offense, and we can hold our own in the offensive zone. So GFA's defense got to hold tall here and make sure that they prevent that if they're going to maintain that kind of ethos that they're carrying in from last game, is that hard-hitting, high-flying opponent.
Still trying to find a way through as they pass around the perimeter now. And GFA's defense just so tight. They force a lot of bad passes because of just how aggressive they are. They're right on top of you, not really allowing much holes, and very physical in the way that they play. It definitely is intimidating at first. It's tough for opponents to find their footing, but it just takes that one first goal, and maybe they'll try to catch the defense off guard and put them on their toes the rest of the game. That would be very interesting. We haven't seen a lot of games recently where the boys haven't scored first.
Absolutely. Doing that and Kingswood, Oxford breaking that kind of pattern.
There's a nice save.
Good save.
We weren't able to do that there, but if they can score first and break that pattern, that's a good way to start off the game and a good message to send the GFA bench and the GFA team in general that they can hold their own against GFA.
It's a nice play by Edwards. He'll slow things down as GFA now has it in the offensive zone. Thought they might lose it around midfield, but was able to scoop it up, and Miller did a good job. Or rather, Edwards did a good job. We also see the return of Henry McDonald as he was battling that injury, but now it looks like he's back up to full strength. As he flings this one at Kit, takes that shot just off the mark. The Dragons will get it back, though. That's a duo you definitely have to fear when they're on the field together, and they haven't been healthy on the same field on offense all season.
Yeah, this is the first time we see both McDonald and Kit back, and you got to watch out. McDonald, definitely a hard-hitting opponent, and he's not afraid to get physical on the field and really take those gritty plays and those gritty shots. And Kit has such a great placement, powerful shot. He can shoot from pretty much anywhere in the offensive zone. So if you're able to get the ball in tight spaces and then hand it off to Kit, that's a really great combo that GFA is going to want to utilize.
You've got the muscle power of McDonald and the speed of Kit. That's definitely a force to be reckoned with as Edwards now trying to find a teammate, bounces it off. This one's off and going to KO. So the Waverns will get this one back. Another turnover. They're forcing a bad pass, and we'll see if this will continue for the Dragons, and if it does, Waverns are in pretty good shape.
Absolutely. Yeah, if they can score first and at least maintain some good offensive drives for a while, they're in really good shape offensively and helping up the defense too, alleviate a GFA attack.
Oh, a nice check by McDonald.
Way to go, Will!
Gets the ball away as he passes this one to Kit, trying to get around. Couldn't find space. Waiting for some teammates to move out. Take some pokes. Stops a nice move to get away from the defender, create some separation, takes some contact, looks for the shot. This one's just off the mark. A nice individual effort, though. Thought that might pay off. Just went a little bit wide.
Absolutely, McGrone, a nice effort there. Really taking it through some tough contact, and the fact that he's able to maintain the ball is impressive. And that bodes well for GFA. If they can get in those plays and get in the center, even with some contact, they don't need to be completely open to take a good shot. They can have some gritty goals, and they can get those tough goals and put the Wyverns in a tough spot.
Passes this one behind the goal now. It's McGrone. Waiting for his teammates to set up a little bit. It's been a nice defensive shape here for both teams. As he switches around the goal, takes that shot. This one's in. So a circle around goal for McGrone as he puts goal number 1 aboard for the Dragons, and that's the start they were looking for. It took them a little bit, more than we're used to, but they went ahead and got that goal. And that's
Absolutely.
a tough shot for the goalie to deal with. He has to track both the players and people in front, especially when you go behind the net, circle around and take that nice off-balance shot. Goes through for goal number 1.
Absolutely. That was a fantastic individual effort. The wraparound goal, just barely squeaking it through a small opening from the goalie in the goal. But, hey, a goal's a goal. If it goes past the goalie, it's in, and it's a point. So McGrone, definitely a good job doing that, and he's a great player on offense. Doesn't have many goals. He's more of an assister, but when he's get him out in space, and even if he's been taking some contact, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Flinging this one back. thought McDonald might have taken that shot, but wisely took it back. But now KO has this one, that it's an errant pass. And the Dragons will get it right back. That's what you have to avoid. That's what really killed, what was it? Who did they play last game? I'm completely blanking. Hamden Hall. That's what really killed the Hornets last game. Because those passes, just when you're trying to get out of your own defensive zone, you have the ball and you just miss that pass, especially in your own defensive end.
Then they set up really well offensive. They get right back to work, and then you have to regroup on defense and try to get that turnover again. Those add up, and it's really hard to kind of regroup quickly. It's like a quick turnover in football. If you throw an interception really quickly and you got to get right back on defense, oftentimes the offense can catch you off guard and get a huge chunk play.
Now McGrone circling around the goal. Can he do it again? No. Passes this one to McDonald, that takes that shot. Oh, boy, that's a rocket. One up top shelf.
Wow.
Right past the goalie with a strong shot from way downtown. Puts that one home for goal number 2. He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. What a return for Henry McDonald, getting it top shelf straight right above the goalie's head, and I think it was just right past his right ear too. Just could not get his stick up in time, could not get his net to save that one. Just had so much speed on it, and it hits the back of the net. 2 goals for the Dragons, 2 very well-earned goals as well.
With the amount of traffic in front of the net, it's tough to see that ball, and he couldn't track it all the way. Here's yet another face-off win for GFA, and the Dragons are in good shape commanding the center circle. That's really what's leading to their success right now. As this ball is on the ground, is this one going? It's going to go to the Wyverns. So a nice turnover again. The reason why this lead is not bigger is because KO has been great in the defensive end with the turnovers, but they need to turn on the Jets on offense a little bit.
Absolutely. Got to make sure they get some offensive production, offensive time of possession, and it all starts with good passing too. They're not communicating very well, and the movement off the ball is kind of lacking, and also the passing's been errant. And if they can control those, they set themselves up well offensively to have a really strong drive.
Now, I think this is a good timeout taken by KO. They were not in good shape, and they definitely need to score on this drive. That would definitely be a good boost for the rest of this game if they put goal number 1 here early, especially on this opportunity. That's a good timeout.
Absolutely. Timeout, regroup. They weren't in position, and they definitely did not want to, mess up their offensive drive there and give GFA another opportunity. So, good chance to regroup, recollect, figure out what your offensive strategy is, and go from there.
So we'll see what adjustments they make. And GFA has just been very, very well. They've done very well with their shape, with their communication, their movement off the ball, especially on defense, because KO has definitely had the offensive opportunities to put some goals away. They haven't been able to get through, forced a lot of turnovers and some bad shots. And there you go.
Absolutely.
Keeps that 0 on the scoreboard. And a good save by Grills, too.
Absolutely, yeah. Grills played well. He's really played well all season. When GFA's in a bit of a pinch, when their defense has kind of failed them, which has been quite rare, Grills been able to build them out in multiple cases. And he's played well this game. Hasn't had a lot thrown at him, and that's usually the case of this season. The offense just is so high-powered and controls the ball so well in the offensive zone that Grills doesn't really have to, or he doesn't have much trouble in the defensive zone saving those shots or getting much action there. But when he's called up, when his number's called, he definitely steps up. And he's a great goalie and really has great vision and is able to see through traffic and be in the exact right place he needs to be. And also, he can set up an offensive play. We see him take the ball past center field, really deep into the offensive zone, and set up a drive that way.
So we'll see if the Wyverns can put goal number 1 on the board here. And again, this is definitely a prime opportunity to do just that. But not if the Dragons have anything to say about it, and they probably do.
Absolutely. GFA's defense very strong, and they're missing Krizan, who I think is out for the rest of the season. But they definitely have a lot of moving parts so they can interchange and stay competitive defensively. And a lot of their offensive players can also perform well defensively with all their midfielders. They're good defensemen as well. And that's one of the reasons why their opponents just can't get a lot of shots on them, because the defense is able to create turnovers.
Got 5 minutes left in this first quarter. Still a long way to go.
Absolutely.
Take some contact, but still moving up, trying to find a teammate. Passes this one now to the right side. Has someone open behind, and he finds him. Again, it's tough to find a hole through this defense, and they're struggling for sure. Is now speeding it up, gets by some defenders, flips it up in the air. Risky pass, but found a teammate as they reset again. Thought about taking a long shot, but doesn't. Now behind the net, trying to get around, find a way through. Switching positions now. Nice job defensively. Really playing tight. Oh my goodness, what a hit, and that's a flag. Wow, that was massive contact.
One of the reasons why it was such a good hit is that, wow.
That is a cross check.
He's going to feel that tomorrow. Absolutely. Great defensive play, but an illegal defensive play, and so there's going to be a flag. But still, I like the aggressiveness that's shown by GFA to just go after the ball, track well, and not let Kingswood Oxford any inroads to the inside of the field. Helps out their defense, helps out Grills, and gives their offense a bit of a rest, too, to make sure that they're set up well offensively and they can get turnovers.
Wow. Man, you gotta think, I mean, is there a way to do that hit legally? Because it is fun to watch.
Absolutely,
even though it's, probably doesn't feel good for the person who just got
he's
absolutely destroyed behind the goal. But I mean, man, that's what I love about hockey, those open ice hits. That's what that reminded me of.
Absolutely, yeah. It had that same kind of feel. You just see that and you're like, ooh.
This whole big sound of the impact, my
goodness.
As this one is on the ground, and GFA, will they be able to get this ball out? No. The Wyverns picking it up, and they are able to pick it up. A nice job to escape, and now he's got Green in front of him, but no teammates to help as he fires this one in, and it's just a bad pass. As this one's popped up, KO's gets it back. They have a nice shooting opportunity, and that one is just wide.
Wow.
Man, you can't miss those, especially in that position. And I would have thought that he would have shot the other way, too, towards the right side. It looked like that was more of an opening as they take that long shot. A nice save by Grills.
He had quite an opening, and I thought he would go near the short side and try a shot that was a little bit closer instead of trying to go to that slim opening on his left side. But
the Dragons turn this into a goal. Oh, a quick counter. That's how fast they can get you, and it's McDonald for his second goal of the game. Wow, just when you thought that KO was going to get goal number 1 on the board, Greens Farms put in goal number 3.
Absolutely.
Just like that.
You can just see how quickly the momentum shifted. You saw KO had a great drive. They got the turnover in the midfield center area, and then they were able to work, and they had a prime opportunity, open green grass, or green turf in this case, and had a player one-on-one with Grills, and he misses. That goes out of bounds. GFA picks it up, responds, and McDonald scores his second goal. Just like that, GFA has the momentum, and now they're up 3-0.
And they've won yet another face-off to give them another offensive opportunity. We'll see if they can ride the waves here and get goal number 4. As it's Kit now backing up. Substitution coming in here, so Hostel check back in, and he's definitely got a rocket of a shot. You don't want to leave him open.
Absolutely not. He had a hat trick in the last game along with Josh Kitt, so one of the better junior defender and offenseman on the team, and he's such a powerful force, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with next year as GFA's program continues. But here he's looking to see if he can get his first goal of the game and set up GFA well offensively.
Flings this one up now to the top. Nice move. Has some time to shoot. Didn't take it. Well, a lot of traffic there, so it might be a wise decision to not take that shot. As McDonald takes that shot, bounced off. Nice save with the shaft of the stick as this one's up, and the Wyverns will take it. A spin move, jetting through, lots of contact. That ball is on the ground, and it is picked up by the Dragon, but that pass just too high, and they couldn't take this one, so KO is going to escape that situation. Wow, we ran into 3 players. I'm not sure if there was a really good lane for him to go anyway, but
no, not really. I
mean,
that was just good. That was
players.
Just good defense by GFA, and you can see good defense here, picking it up, and now he's got open rim to run. We'll see if GFA can get equally as well set up on this offensive drive as they were on the last one.
Now McDonald circling the goal, fires this one in. It's Kit with a jump shot. Oh, wow, another big goal by Kit. Shot that shot like Darren O'Day pitches a pitch going underneath and up, going top shelf. Another rocket for Kit, and add that one to his tally. That's goal number 4.
Wow. 4 goals in 2 games. Wow. I mean, he's really special on this team. He's a force to be reckoned with, and just you see the placement in that shot. beautiful arc just curves up. Nothing the goalie can do there. It's almost like looking at a really well-pitched breaking ball in baseball. You think it's going to be one place, and then all of a sudden, he just blows past you. And that's exactly what happened with the goalie. He was not in bad position at all. He was right there ready to save it, and it just goes right past him again.
But you don't expect a shot from that far out, too, especially with some people in front of you, but the placement and the mechanics are just on point. But here's the first face-off win for the Wyverns. We'll see if they can try to respond after 4 unanswered goals in this first quarter. There's still 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and if you watch the RCDS game, we'll always talk about this. That's enough time to score 3 goals, as that is a turnover, a nice play. And the Dragons will get this one back.
Like you were saying, 1 minute and 30, that's a good amount of time to score
at least a goal.
Yeah, at least a goal. If they really get a couple of good offensive drives going, you might be able to score more, but at least 1 goal. But looks like it's going to be difficult here because GFA gets it right back. Looks like a delayed penalty for
the slash on the
on Hebert.
Yeah, for the slash on Hebert. Well, Hebert got some separation and waved bye-bye to the defender. Or I guess, the attacker on that play there's a shot. My goodness, that would have been a very nice goal.
Would have been a fantastic goal from McGrone's second.
Yes, so it is going to be a slash. It's a 1-minute penalty, so they will be without a player for a minute as number 11, who Slash looks kind of confused, but I don't know. I feel like players do get away with that a lot.
I think so, especially
with that slash.
In
I feel like
this
that's.
game,
I feel like that is a weak call, especially with your team down. But the Dragons will go ahead and get this one back, and they've got more space to work with than ever now. As pass this one to Kit. Now working the perimeter again. You can see KO is playing a lot tighter than they were before, probably to prevent those long shots, as this one is now Kit. Oh, he couldn't get that ball in his stick as he picks it up and flings this one outside. It's Haas. Now behind to McGrone, who runs around the net. Pass this one in. There's a shot. Oh, my goodness. Another goal for the Dragons. It's Carilla, who puts in goal number 5, and they're scoring in bunches right now. And didn't even seem like there was a reaction for the goalie. I'm not sure if he didn't see where the ball was, but it was him alone with the goalie, and there was just no movement at all.
And GFA has just been winning those one-on-one plays with the goalie. And every single time you have a GFA player with the ball and the goalie, GFA wins. I know the goal is big compared to the player, but it's not as big as soccer, where you think, oh yeah, if it's a one-on-one, easy peasy. But even you see the goalie maybe just not seeing things correctly. Maybe there's just a little bit too much traffic from KO in the center. Sometimes when you want to guard that center, you want to make sure that GFA doesn't have that quick pass and shoot inside. You make things tougher for your goalie because they can't see anything. And so we'll see if KO is going to try to change that up, and with 5 goals on the board already in just the first, or is it the second quarter?
Yeah, it is the first quarter. Still the first quarter, which is going quite slow. Or slower than I'm used to anyway. I don't know. Usually it's slow because there's a lot of goals scored, and there is a lot of goals scored this quarter, so that might be it with 5. But look, KO needs to score. They need to score fast to try to put at least something on the board, get that taste of a goal so they can go through. And they've got 9 seconds to work with as they are now behind the net. Will they be able to get a shot off? It doesn't look like they are, as they have 3 seconds. They have to shoot. And that would have been a goal, but it's called off.
That was a good play.
It was, but they needed to shoot that earlier. We'll see. They're talking about it. I don't think they're going to call it a goal, no.
No, I think that looked like it was shot after the whistle was blown. If he shot it just a half second before, it'd be a 5-1
game. They are talking to the referee. We'll see if they're going to call this a goal. Because regardless, it is up to the referee's discretion. So if they want to say that he was in the act of shooting as the buzzer was going off, they could call it.
Right.
It's not like basketball. No sign by the referee, so it will not be a goal. Just missed it by maybe a second.
Maybe
they needed to shoot that earlier. It was just, again, I feel like with lacrosse teams and when the time is ticking down, I don't know if they're not aware of the clock, but I mean, it's sort of with 3 seconds left, you just sort of have to run through some contact and try to shoot, because there's nothing you can do at that point. You're not going to get a prime shooting opportunity. You've got 3 seconds. You need to just sort of run through some contact and hope you still have the ball to shoot. If it gets knocked out, well, then nothing ventured, nothing gained, really.
Right, exactly. sometimes you just have to take that shot, and I think that's what he was trying to do. He was looking to do that. He was tightly guarded by a bunch of GFA players, but still, I think at that point you gotta have some sort of strategy going. It's like, okay, just get someone even remotely open. I don't really care how far away they are from the goal, and just try the shot, and who knows, maybe you'll make it in. But at that point, you kind of have to cut your losses at some point and say, okay, the shot doesn't have to be perfect, the goal doesn't have to be perfect. We just have to get this shot going.
They couldn't take a shot on that drive, and I don't know. I just feel like that's what most of the high pressure situations are. Now, when you have a face off and when somebody sits on it, that's nothing you can really do. But I mean, when time's ticking, you have that little time left on the clock. You really just have to go ahead and give it your best shot. I mean, there's nothing you can really do other than just try to get in there as close as you can and rip a shot before the buzzer sounds. And they weren't able to do that there, as there's the buzzer to start quarter number 2. And as we start quarter number 2, the Dragons look up on the scoreboard and they see a 5-0 scoreline right now. They're in very good shape, and it's been the stout defense, really. I didn't think that was going to be the story of the game, but their defense has allowed their offense a lot of opportunities.
Exactly. Their offense can get creative. Their offense can get to work and has not that pressure of, oh, we have to keep pace with the scoring, with the pace of the Wyverns if they were able to score against the defense or any other team for that matter. And GFA's defense has really held their own. They've been really good throughout this season. Haven't been the main story just because they've often been outshined by the way the GFA
because they haven't had so many opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
They haven't had many opportunities to show their skills.
Right. A lot of times GFA's offense has been their best defense. But this game, their defense has been really helping them out. It's allowed them to kind of relax a little bit on offense, get loose and get creative. And you've seen it in the types of goals they're shooting and the types of shots. They're shooting shots from way out. They're really taking arguably risky shots, but they know how to make them. They're not risky for the players because they know exactly that they can make those shots and they're comfortable making those shots, and they don't have to play conservative on offense, nor do they have to play too aggressively, and that shows on the scoreboard. 5-0, and really great goals have contributed to those 5.
So we'll see if they can get another face-off win. And as for Kingswood Oxford, their offense just needs to establish some kind of a plan before going through. It just sort of seems like they're working with what the defense is giving them instead of trying to work with their game plan and moving off the ball. The reason why GFA is so good is because they're able to stick to their game plan with what works, and when something closes down, they go to their other option. They have that plan. They practice that, and we'll see if I'm sure that Kingswood Oxford has some plans of action on their offense if they can't be just going in here flying blind. And
they're not flying by the seat of their pants. They have some sort of play that they want to try. A lot of times that gets kind of shot, and you're not unable to do it
because you get so excited when you're up there. You go, okay, well, I want to score, instead of thinking back, hey, what did we learn in training? What did we do? What is the plan of action? You have to be calm and collected, and when you give up a few goals in a row, it's tough to stick to remember your plan other than, hey, we just need to score. As there's a nice face-off win by the Dragons, and they'll start the second quarter on offense. Remember, it was KO that started the game on offense in the first quarter because of the turnover right at the beginning of the face-off. As there's a nice move. Will they put this goal through? Oh, takes some contact, loses the ball, still on the ground, and is going to be picked up by GFA. Looks like Haas checks in as this will be passed out to Edwards. It's Carilla with a shot. That one is wide. And this one's going to go back to GFA. Had a nice open lane to shoot, although it was from a difficult angle. No one in front of him, though.
Absolutely.
So I don't disagree with that shot.
Me neither. I think that was a good time shot and a well-advised shot, and just misses it. And that's kind of what happens. You just mistime the shot or misplace it, and it goes wide. No harm there. GFA's up by 5, and it's nice that they're able to take those shots, and they can afford those misses and those empty possessions because their defense has been able to bail them out so many times, and their offense has been very efficient in the first quarter. Their offense in the second quarter can afford to have those empty drives, can afford to try some more risky shots that may not pan out, and if you try those creative shots and you're able to find ways to score goals in creative ways, that also helps out your coaching staff and what are we good at? What are we not good at? How can we improve our offense? This is a great day to try to do that.
And this is a great opportunity for KO to try to get goal number 1 on the board. But again, nobody helping behind the net. Nobody's really finding themselves in a good position.
Not a
That's
lot of
been really
movement
tough.
for KO.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone just seems to be a little bit stagnant. But one thing for GFA is they always have somebody crashing the middle 100% of the time just so that they can get it for the quick one-timer, and it's worked a lot. But
you look like the Wyverns are trying to do that here. You have number 10 just now. He went into the center and then he came out, but it's not really been at the same pace. You have number 3 crashing into the center too, but just kind of running through. They're not really being as intensive on offense. Maybe they're just trying to see what the defense is giving them. But at this point, time is not on your side. You want to score a goal as quickly as possible. Just try to get that momentum. It looks like they're heating up now, but
he had an opportunity to shoot, but it didn't last very long. So they're still working around. I mean, I like that they're taking their time. You have to find the shot, especially with a lot of time left. And it takes that one goal that can then spark something. So as long as you get that, especially when you have time on the board, you can take your time at this point, but down the road you might not be able to. That's why you find your footing now.
Absolutely.
As he slips, still has the ball. It's just really good defense in the back by Murphy. He's just completely containing him.
Absolutely.
Lots of contact too as a flag comes up. It might be a slash on Murphy. I believe it will be. So this is good news for KO, is trying to look for their goal, but
they got a free play here essentially.
They do. To try something new, maybe take that shot. Go ahead and see what you can do with it. I mean, it's
exactly.
It's a free shot at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a more risky shot now. You have a free shot. There's really no harm with it.
Nice move to get by him. Nobody in the middle. If there was somebody in the middle, they would have been able to find him.
Absolutely.
There's a wide open space in there.
But there's nobody crashing, and they're really playing to the perimeter. But GFA's defense is not allowing that. They're playing airtight, and you need some way to confuse them. You need someone who's doing something unexpected to try to break him free. And
it's on the ground, and it's going to be picked up by GFA. So play is stopped. And again, that's just not what the Wyvern wanted to have happen.
Absolutely.
There, a turnover. And as you can see, when he looked up for somebody in the middle because he expected them to be there. It's a good thing he didn't pass it to nobody because he did look up before he passed. But that's something that they have drawn up. They just are unable to find any space.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and there's no one in the center. There's no one doing anything in the center, and there's no one crashing in there. So just no one to pass to. You can't have that 1-2 punch, and you can't have that quick pass and shoot drive, and it's hurting the Wyverns now. And they have the free. They had the free play, and it kind of went by the wayside. They now have another opportunity. So not everything is lost, obviously, in this possession, but they definitely want to make sure that they have their strategy intact and maybe create some confusion for GFA's defense, because right now GFA's defense just been airtight, lock solid.
They pass this one around. Again, not able to find anybody in the middle. It may take a long shot for them to get their first goal. He finds a teammate outside. Again, the Dragons, look, they're allowing this perimeter passing because they don't have any holes anywhere else. As there, thought he would take that shot. He doesn't. As this one's on the ground and scrambling for it, KO is able to pick that one up. I would have liked to see a long shot, especially with the space, as there's a shot up high, and this one will go back to them, though. But there's an example. When you have a lane, you just have to shoot it, especially now when you're down by 5, and time is ticking. I know you have a whole second half. As there's a great save by Grills, who picks this one up, has some traffic to deal with as he flicks it to a teammate.
That was an unexpected shot.
It was. And a good save, too.
Absolutely.
He flicks this one to Bodian, and he'll race back to it. Takes some contact, but it's picked up by the Dragons. They'll flash this out to Carrillo. And now with McGrone behind the net. And now you'll start to see the difference in how GFA is constantly moving off the ball. And they're moving a lot faster. As it looks like there's a substitution coming in for GFA, or no, rather a flip. Defenseman comes back. Haas comes back on, and that's a nice face to see.
Absolutely.
Not for KO, but definitely for the Dragons' offense.
Exactly. He definitely has the shooting ability, and he's really great at finding space in the middle of the field to get those easier shots, and he can really use that ability.
As he does right there.
Wow. Right
Boom.
on cue. Kyle
Absolutely.
Haas, first goal of the game for him.
And first goal of this game, but many over the course of this season. And he's been excelling at being a sharpshooter from those types of angles. And He doesn't need a lot of space to go ahead and put that one through. You
No,
find
he
him, and it's a
doesn't.
quick shot. Nobody really expects it. I know I didn't.
Yep.
And and his windup isn't too long either. It just comes by surprise, and the speed definitely just races past people.
Exactly.
Especially the goalie, and it did just there.
He's like a quick wrist shooter in hockey where you just pass
Yes.
it to him and he just flicks it in. And you just say, whoa, where did that come from? That just came out of nowhere. And that's what makes him so dangerous on the field is he has such great vision. He can put himself in the exact right position to get that shot and make a quick goal.
Definitely making his bid for offensive MVP this season. It's going to be a tight race between a lot of people.
Absolutely. You have McDonald, who battled injuries, who's come back, and obviously Haas has been here. He's been not had any injuries, but Kit, who's been out most of the season, coming back, and he's
been a
immediate
force. I think another big, definitely, maybe one of the bigger contributors to that MVP race is Will McGrone. He's played so
Absolutely.
well all season. Been a very, maybe he hasn't scored the most goals. There's a massive goal by Kit. Oh my goodness!
You can see him fired up.
Wow.
That
Just-
came from way downtown, didn't it?
That's an impossible shot.
You cannot see
How
that.
did he
Oh
make
my
that? How did he
goodness.
put that one in?
How does he
It's
have that
baffling.
much control of the ball that it just has a dart,
Oh
a
my
beeline,
goodness.
right to where he wants it in the the right side of the goal of the goalie, and there's not much you can do if you're the goalie. Honestly, you just kind of hang your head and say, "Oh well, I'll get the next one," because from that far out with that much traffic in front of you, nothing really. You can't see that ball. It's a rocket, and next time you see it, it's behind you in the back of the net.
Imagine if they had him for Brunswick. I think they would have won
I
that
think they
game. They
would've.
only lost by 1, and I think they would have won that game.
Absolutely,
For
I
sure.
agree. I think they needed that one spark, and they needed that one guy who can take the game on his shoulders and get that goal when he needs to. And Josh Kitt fits the bill perfectly. And if they had him in that game, it would have been a completely different game, that's for sure. And I think they would have won. I agree with you. I think they would have won that game. They just needed that one spark, and he could have provided it.
Again, it's just like he doesn't need any space. He just pulls up. It's like Andrew Mayock
Absolutely.
in basketball. It doesn't matter how many people are around him. He'll make
Right,
that
he'll just-
three-pointer. It doesn't matter how many people are around Josh Kidd. He's going to make the goal. It's a shot goes way too high. But I believe the Dragons will take this one back. McGrone speeding things up, takes some contact. Again, that's what he's been really, really good at, is being very agile. There's another long shot. This one goes just wide. But yeah, McGrone has been great, especially behind the goals, shifting the sides of the field. He's really been like the quarterback of this offense.
Absolutely.
And like I said, maybe he hasn't scored the most goals out of anyone on the team, but he's definitely led to a lot of them.
He's a great leader, and he's also a selfless player too. He's willing to pass it even if he looks like he's in a good position because someone else is in a better position. And it's been incredible that he's gotten this goal here because on senior day, getting that goal, first goal of the game, I believe, and that incredible wraparound goal too. He is definitely a great leader on the team, and it's great to see him get the goal as well.
The timeout's taken by KO. Now this half going better for them. As they haven't given up 5 goals. They've given up only 2. Again, there's still some time left, so that bar could keep ticking. But at this point, their defense has done well. They've only really given up long shots. It's been 2 long shots.
Exactly.
And there's nothing really you can do, especially when you're shooting from that far out.
Yeah, I think the Wyvern defense has done well. I think the problem more has been their offense. I think their offense just hasn't been able to get going. They really look like they don't have a plan, or they aren't quite on the same page of what that plan is, because you have some people doing one thing and everyone's kind of muddled, like, what are we doing here? What's the strategy? So I think this timeout is really key, just to go over exactly what they want to do on offense so they can execute. And I think more movement on the offensive side of the ball definitely helps. They need to be able to crash in the inside and confuse GFA's defense so they get players in space who can get the more favorable shot than something from way outside. Now, obviously, that hasn't stopped Josh Kitt, but not everyone's Josh Kitt.
We've seen some lasers today from all over the field.
Absolutely.
It's those deep shots that really get me excited. When you have a powerful shot that's from way out by around that red line and it just zooms past somebody, it's a thing of beauty to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just fantastic to see. In any sport, really, you see that long shot, hockey, lacrosse, and it's just wonderful to see it. Just the curve on it as it dips up or dips down and just slides into the back of the net. And you can just see how they work on that so much, and they really work hard to make sure they can make those shots whenever they need to, and it pays off tremendously.
So, KO will get this ball back. They did take a timeout, and again, I like that use of the timeout there. You make them, allows your team to get settled, numbers up instead of numbers down for a big-time attack, and for them to get back into the game, this is the attack to do it, and this is the attack that really, I don't think it's a must-score opportunity, but it's definitely would very much like to score,
yes,
because it's it would definitely be an easier road for here, especially when you score. You don't get shut out in the first half, and you still have some time to work with in the second quarter to maybe put goal number 2 on the board. And when you're down by 5 with an entire half to go, that's not undoable for sure.
Right.
And as long as you just turn on the jets, which many teams can do, especially in late game situations, towards the end after they score a few goals in a row, that momentum starts to boost up for their team, and they can go ahead and just change the entire course of the game and look like a completely different team.
Absolutely.
Like RCDS did, because they looked like they were down and out, down 5.
And then
or down 4 with about 1:30 to go.
And they brought it
they
back
scored
within
1 goal, then 2 goals, then 3 goals, and we're like, wow, they have 15 seconds. Well, they put this last one in to force overtime, and Miller stood on top of it to prevent that, wisely so. But if they had, I don't know, maybe another 45 seconds, I don't think he would have been able to stand on top of it, because that would have been a violation.
Absolutely.
Now speeding up play. This is definitely more pace than I've seen their offense play with. This is what, oh man, just out of the reach. That would have been a nice one-time opportunity right in the middle of the field, but he just couldn't get that one in his stick. But they'll have the chance to reset.
Good opportunity and a good idea by KO. And they look like they have a different look to this team, and their offense has some purpose now. They're not just kind of wandering on the outside looking to see if anyone will step up and make that play in the inside. They're moving well, and they're confusing GFA's defense enough that they can try to get players in space and pass it to them. That pass just unlucky. I don't think it's a cause of concern for the strategy that they're using. It's more of, can they execute that strategy? And we'll see here.
Lots of contact. And again, a nice way to get the Wyverns to back off of that attack a bit with some big-time contact on defense. I think another difference between GFA and KO is that GFA's defense has been much more up close and personal, especially with contact, forcing turnovers like this, as it is going to be picked up by KO. But then lots of contact, trying to make him step out of bounds. They have to tightrope the sideline as he loses it. Still in a corner, and is able to escape. Nice job to escape, as there's a high point pass. Nice catch there. And they'll get back to work, but they've taken a lot of time off the clock with this drive, about 2 minutes.
Right, that's not something that they want to do. They want to be able to get that quick goal and set themselves up well offensively so they can get that second goal, third goal, whatever. But I think the most important right now is getting a goal before halftime. That might be dipping into the required category instead of the strongly recommend. So we'll see how they're going to do it here. They look much stronger offensively, but GFA's defense also standing tall.
Oh, Grills is out of the net. Thought about taking it, did not take the shot. Takes this long shot. That one is just wide. They'll get it back. Grills was out, and that ball was loose. Although it's tough to take a shot from there. You don't know where the goal is.
Right. And GFA was really tightly guarding him. I had a couple of players on him, making sure they bailed out Grills when he was out of position. But still, looked like a great opportunity. But now they get to reset with 1:25 left. We'll see if they can make anything of it.
Now Grills takes this one, and he is going a long way as he throws this one to a teammate. Finds McDonald. And the Dragons are in good shape. They take that shot. A nice save.
Great shot by LaFerriere.
It was a one-on-one opportunity, and the goalie just said no. But we'll see if he can rally his team here, as this is a turnover. We'll see if McDonald can pick it up. He is able to scoop it up, getting around a few players. Will this be goal number 8? Flicks it to a teammate, and there it is. It's Kirilla's second goal of the game. And gets his team up 8. Again, another instance of right when you think the Wyverns will get their first goal, GFA goes right down the field and gets another one.
Absolutely. You could see the momentum shift, and GFA able to take up the ball on a great play by Grills. Grills takes it far, passes it to McDonald, and McDonald takes it from there, passing it to Carilla, and Carilla with a nice 1-2 punch into the back of the net. And you see it just when GFA is able to get that turnover and just stop KO's drive right there, they're able to set themselves up well offensively and just kill any comeback attempt that KO wanted to have in that drive.
Well, the face-off coming here, and it is going to be, looks like it's still on the ground and picked up by GFA, getting around some contact. GFA has time to score again. They definitely do. This Hebert passes this one outside of Carilla. They've got 30 seconds to work with as they put this one behind the net with McGrone. You want to avoid a turnover and a quick opportunity for KO, and timeout's called. And I think that's a very smart timeout. Slow the team down, try to get goal number 9 in this last opportunity to hammer home a lead before halftime.
Absolutely, 100% agree. They want to get that 9th goal, and I don't know if there's enough time for 2 goals with 30 seconds. I think that's a little too close. But
one goal is 100% doable in 30 seconds.
Absolutely, especially when they have the ball here and in the offensive zone.
I'd say the maximum amount of goals you can score in a minute and 30 seconds that's reasonable to even to think is a possibility is about 3. Just because of the way time goes, unless you score, unless you win the face-off, run all the way down and score yourself 3 times.
Right.
That's ridiculous to even think about. If you can do that once, let alone 3 times in a row. I think 3 goals in a minute and 30 seconds should be basically the max amount of goals you'd be able to score in that time period. 1 goal per 30 seconds, I think that's a very fast pace.
That's a fast goal, especially when you're passing it around, and the defense is definitely not. It's not like a free shot where you can just take it and go.
Exactly.
You have to contend with the defense, and so 31 seconds, definitely enough time for GFA to try to score a goal and to set up a good offensive drive. And timeout is in the perfect place to really get all their ducks in a row and make sure that they have their strategy right where they want it to be, and they're on the same page with that. And then they go out and try to execute offensively.
So we'll see what offensive shape, what play they have driven up here in the last 31 seconds of the first half. But the Dragons have looked good all game, and their defense has really been stout. They've done such a good job of limiting these, because unlike in a lot of the games we've seen, KO has had a lot of offensive opportunities, and I mean a lot, especially compared to any game that they've played in the past, or at least GFA's played in the past. Their defense has been called upon a lot, which is not something that I thought would happen in this game.
Right, exactly.
But they've played great. They've responded well. Girls have made some great saves, and overall it's really been GFA's defense giving a lot of opportunities to this offense and letting them do their thing with some long shots. Tough for the Wavering goalie to do anything with those when it's so deep and you have so many people in front of you. You can't see that ball. It's flying at you so fast.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can't see the ball and you have all those bodies in front that make sure it's really hard to see through the traffic, then there's not much you can do. And GFA exploits that by shooting from the perimeter, and they have fantastic players who can shoot from the perimeter, Josh Kitt and Kyle Haas just being 2 examples. And they've been able to utilize that to the best.
There's a shot right off, and they've got 10 seconds to work with now, though. As they pick this one up, now 7. They have to speed the things up a little bit if they are going to get that goal. Tries to get himself around. It's Kitt. Has to shoot. Couldn't put that ball out. Are they calling that a goal?
No. I think they're calling that one off.
They are calling that one off. But that, my goodness.
Wow.
That would have been something else if he put that one in at the buzzer. And
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'd be surprised even.
I wouldn't be surprised.
With that type of play coming from Kitt. But look, this game is entirely different than what I thought would be going in. I think we'd be saying the same thing, which is every game, which is, GFA's won the face-off. They've had all the offensive opportunities. The other team hasn't had any opportunities, therefore they can't score, and GFA is winning. No, this has been the Wavering offense being completely ineffective and just unable to do anything through this defense, and the defense getting the opportunities for the offense. GFA's offense, when they win the face-off, great. They have lost the ball, but I mean, most of their offense, in fact, I'd say 90% of their goals scored today have not come from the face-off win and for the goal. It's been from a defensive play, getting the ball back for their offense and going on a fast break and countering. That's completely different than what we've seen all season. We haven't seen a a team get shut down by the Dragons' defense. We've seen a team get shut down by the Dragons' work in the center circle.
Exactly. And this is just a completely different game that we're seeing where the defense has been the highlight of the game. They've been the ones who have started the offensive drives, who've gotten the turnovers, who've just completely shut down KO's attack, and then the offense has been able to build off that and get to work. So we're seeing a great game and a completely different game, but it's great to see for GFA, for the coaching staff and the fans, that GFA is able to play both ways. They're not just an offensive team. They're a great offense and a great defense, and they can get it done either way.
So definitely an interesting way that this game is playing out. But what is not interesting is the fact that the score is 8-0 at halftime, which is, I mean, when you look at this offense and how well they play, it's tough to be surprised about that anymore.
Exactly.
It's really what they've been doing all season. And they figured out KO the first time, and it doesn't seem like anything's changed here. But we'll see what the second half has. I mean, again, any team can go on any kind of run. You can score so quickly in lacrosse, so all it takes is a few goals in a row, and then it's a ball game again. They score 4 goals unanswered really quick in this third quarter. They're only down 4, and they've got a lot of time to work with and momentum if that happens. So I'm not saying it's anybody's game, but they're not out of it yet.
Absolutely not.
So we'll see what this second half has to bring as we will wait. We got another 7 minutes and 45 seconds of halftime, so we'll be right back at you then. So stick around for the conclusion of this one. We'll see if GFA can continue their hot start or if the Wyverns can go ahead and respond in a big way and try to tie this one up, at least by the fourth quarter. So we'll see. Anyways, we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Stick around. We're back here with 12 minutes on the clock, and it's a face-off win for the Dragons as they pick this one up. They'll have the first offensive opportunity of the game. We'll see what adjustments both teams have made, but it looks like this defense playing really tight, forcing the ball to be on the ground. It is still on the ground, still fighting for it as they take some contact. We'll see it's kicked out forward and not picked up by the Dragons. It's almost picked up by KO. Still fighting for the ball, still on the ground, and it looks like it's being shuffled. No one's picked it up yet. And it looks like it's now scooped up by Carilla, so the Dragons will get this one right back. It's McGrone behind the net. Nice spin move, creates some separation, going behind the goal. Finds McDonald outside. Passes this one up, and no one's home. So KO will get this one back. It definitely does seem they've changed something on defense. They're playing a lot more up close and personal.
I think so.
Taking more contact too.
Right.
That's what they needed to do in the first half, really, to keep in this game after a few goals being scored.
Yeah, I think they needed to have some sort of adjustment defensively, and their offense hasn't fallen into form yet, but oftentimes when you adjust the defense, the offense also kind of falls in line too, and then you're able to get good plays offensively. Not there, they commit a turnover, but oftentimes if you want to just stem the tide of the way the game's going, make sure GFA can't score any more goals, and you make sure that even if they do, you keep pace with them, and eventually you could start to claw your way back into the game.
That shot just a little bit wide. Are they going to be able to get this one? No. Will they say it's deflected? No. So it is going to be McDonald from the corner. GFA will take this one back. Flings this one outside the Haas. And now Bodian. Speeding up, trying to get past the defender. Flings it back, couldn't get that pass off, and it's going to be picked up by KO, but still on the ground now and swiped away, and the Wavelens will pick this one up, though. There is, a flag and a half.
Yep.
That is a trip. Nobody even has to touch the ball. I think they're just calling this Wavering ball.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that. Tried to slash the ball, but
he was looking for the stick, but yeah, you got the leg there, and that's got to hurt. But two flags come out, and that was pretty clear.
So Kitt'll sit for about a minute, and KO is going to have a nice opportunity to try to put their first goal of the game on the board. And now I think, you don't want to say it's desperation mode, but, if you're going to try to rally back here, you better do it quick.
Right. You gotta act quick. Don't hurry, don't rush it, because then you just don't get any offensive ability. But you definitely want to act quick, and you don't want to stall your team and really commit too many turnovers. You want to make the most out of each and every drive, and that's exactly what they're going to try to do here.
This is where I think they wish there was a pull goalie rule in lacrosse to give the extra attacker.
Right.
We thought maybe that was a thing, but no. There's a long shot and a nice save by Grills again. He's been very solid as that one is in front, racing forward, and Grills able to scoop this one up. Has to be careful not to give this ball away as KO player knocks into the referee, and this one's off the stick, or then they'll be able to get it. A push. So the Dragons will get this one back. They call that, looks like we thought it was going to be a turnover, but no, it's a push. A nice spin move there by Hebert. They get around some contact.
They're playing Hebert a lot more in this game.
He wanted to find him. Hebert was calling for it in the middle of the field, but they couldn't look up, and it's a tough play to have. As there's a flag coming out, looks like maybe for a slash. There was a nice evasion by McGrone. That takes quite a bit of agility to get away from that.
Absolutely.
And
you got to be light on
too.
your feet and then really be able to pivot really well. And now they get Kit back with the delayed penalty. Things all of a sudden looking really not great for Kingswood Oxford.
As Kit turns on the Jets, gets around one, gets around two, takes that shot, just saved. And it is going to be picked up by the Waverns, so GFA will get it back. So Bodian will come in here and take off Edwards. So they take a bruiser out and they put in a speedy agility guy back on here. I think that just shows they're trying to score a quick goal.
Right.
Burst past this defense rather than truck them over.
And we've seen Bodie, and he can score really quickly, and he's really great at crashing in the middle of the field and getting the ball for that quick 1-2 punch. He can use his size to his advantage there and get that done well.
This one's passed out to Bodian, who puts this one behind the net. Now Carilla. Up high, inside McGrone takes that shot, and it's in. There's McGrone's second goal of the game. And again, the quarterback of this offense putting another one through.
We'll see if he can get that third goal for the hat trick. And he's been really, really a force on this game and this team. Really great offensive player all year, but especially this game, he's really taken charge and had the first goal. Now has another goal on his ledger, and he's also been selfless. He's been in situations where he could have taken it to the net and maybe would have scored, maybe not. We'll never know. But he's passed it out, and he's given other players opportunities to score from outside, inside, doesn't matter. He's been able to coordinate the offense, and he's getting rewarded for that here with another goal.
As there is another face-off. This one's going outside, able to save this one from going out. It's flipped up. The Dragons still have it. Now it's on the ground, though. Still trying to collect this one, and it looks like it's picked up by KO. Fires this one back, dumps it in for a teammate. A smart play as they're able to get this one. Oh, boy, it's loose in front of the net. McGrone could have goal number 3. Couldn't pick it up. It's up. Just missed that one over the net. That's a grade A chance. Couldn't put that one away, but that was a dangerous play as the goalie just missed it. Wow.
Wow.
And was this a goalie change I see? Is this a goalie change?
I think so.
It looks like a bigger goalie than we in the first half. I may be wrong, but I think this is a different goalie.
I think so too.
I may be wrong, but I feel like it did change the goalie. But the goalie was not able to get that ball. Boy, that was tough.
That was close. And if McGrone was able to scoop that up,
that would be goal number 10 for sure. As that one is tipped and up. See if it's going to be picked up by McGrone. Take nice contact. He's able to pick it up. Nice screen set there by McDonald. He passes this one outside to Miller. Gives it. Kit shoots just high. And if he scored from there again, I think I would have lost my mind.
Me too. We'd have lost our collective GSPN minds here. I mean, because at that point, there's nothing you can do. You might as well just not guard him because he'll shoot anyway and score anyway.
Nice save. A strong save. He puts his body in front of that one. Has to be careful. Had McGrone on his tail, but he's able to find a teammate. He flings this one out. Nice catch. Trying to get around Kit, and he does. Toe tapping the sidelines. Finds a teammate, and we'll see if KO can get some kind of a groove going on offense. As finds a teammate, this could be it. They shoot this one in. It is their first goal.
That was
so no shutout, but that was it was a very important goal on a nice chance, a good pass, difficult angle to put that shot through.
Absolutely.
They were able to go ahead and put that one in. We'll see if that starts something. Now that they have their first taste of scoring a goal, they say, okay, guys, we can score. I mean, they have 8 more to go, but they have, 18 minutes to score 8 goals. That's not, I'm not going to say that that's not undoable because it is very tough. But, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility mathematically.
Right, exactly.
So,
and if they have their offense starting well again, and they have a good strategy going, and they just kind of completely revamp their offensive strategy, it could be kind of an RCDS situation, and the complexion of the game could change.
Yeah, and I was about to say, it all starts with his face-off, and, well, here we go. Looks like some speed here for KO as they try to pass one in. It's on the ground. It's going to be picked up, looks like, by the Dragons. It's on the ground, though. Trying to pick it up. Still a battle for it, and we'll see it. It said push white, but I think it was a push blue because Waverns will get this one back. Now you see some spring in their step now as they try to push and gain some confidence on offense. And if they score here quick, I mean, look, they'd only be at least inch a little bit closer to getting a comeback. But it takes some unanswered goals and some quick unanswered goals, and it definitely starts with speed, and that's something that they've now improved on, but that's not going to help. A pass that goes out of bounds, a rough turnover. Man, that's not what you want to see.
That is definitely not what you want to see if you're Kingswood Oxford. You want to be able to have a good drive where you maintain the ball, maintain possession, and can pass it out effectively, but they don't do it there. Now they got to regroup on defense and stop a GFA team that has been scoring goals at a great clip.
Flings it outside the wing. It's Kit now. Got 5 minutes and 16 seconds as Haas takes this pass. Looking for an option, shoots this one. Nice job by the defender to deflect that one away as McGrone spins around a defender. Still trying to look for some help as he finds McDonald outside. Now Haas flings it outside to Kit. Finds Carilla. Now McGrone behind the net. Nice moves, try to create some separation as he finds McDonald and seems to be passing it around now. Now Haas. Lots of people on him as he flings this one back. Thought about passing at the Bodian, but takes this back, waiting for a better pass. Now starting to speed up a little bit. As he stops, looks for some options. Nice defensive work. Nice footwork by this defender, staying step for step with Kit as he flings this one outside to Haas on the wing.
GFA is making sure they pass it a little bit more to drain the clock, and I think KO's defense has been very good at preventing GFA from crashing into the inside, but at the same time it's a double-edged sword because they're wasting time as well, and then time's ticking down, just over 4 minutes left, and GFA still has possession, and they're still working the clock here to make sure that KO does not have another offensive opportunity for a while.
They fling this one outside. That shot very close to finding the top right corner, but couldn't keep the ball down. As McGrone now behind the net, taking some contact as he flings it back to Haas. Would have been there's a shot. That one is saved. A good pass by McGrone to find Haas in the middle, but couldn't put that ball in the middle of the stick in the pocket. That would have definitely. I think that would have been a goal.
I think that would have been the 10th.
Would have been the 10th goal. Now McGrone stopping and starting, changing direction, creates some separation. He's been so great at that all season, especially in this game. So there's McDonald, takes a bouncing shot and a nice save. Shot probably not as fast as he had wanted to be in. Oh my goodness, what a hit. Didn't stop him though, as he's able to find Kit outside. Nice strength by Haas as Kit shoots that one and it's in. Josh Kit, how do you do?
Wow.
Another goal. And that one just as pretty as the last one.
Oh my goodness. Splits two defenders, holds the ball with one hand, holds the stick with one hand, was able to twist it with one hand, and then shoots it in a kind of a flicking manner just up into on the top of the goal. I mean, you can't get a goal prettier than that. That is just a fantastic goal and fantastic individual effort. I don't really know what else to say about that. It's just, you really can't guard him. They had him pretty much locked down, able to slip by, and then just flicks it into the net.
As this face-off is won by KO, we'll see if they can put one on the board, but it's going to be tough to respond as they try. It's a nice save by Grills, picked up by Hebert. Big contact, still has the ball. And now has to get through some defenders, lowers the shoulder, and it's picked up. He lowered the shoulder, tried to pull a Thomas Edwards. We saw that this season when he lowered that shoulder and just trucked him like Marshawn Lynch. I'm not sure what this penalty's on. Is it on the fact that he lowered the shoulder? Is it on the fact that the KO player went ahead and tried to knock into him? I'm not sure who's going to get this ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. We'll see.
I liked that play. I don't know what was dirty. I don't know what was dirty about that play. I mean, this sort of rough and tumble play. Yeah, but I mean.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
I think a timeout was a timeout called? Yeah, timeout was called, but we'll have to see who gets possession of this ball. Oh, come on, ref. Let them go at each other a little
exactly.
bit.
Let them settle it themselves. And we talk about the effect of the refs, and the refs affect the game if they don't call a play versus if they do call a play. And it's obviously a tight balance that they walk in which, okay, do I call this one in which I am influencing the game by calling it, but that's the rule, or do I let them kind of settle it? But in doing that, that also influences the play. So definitely refs walk that kind of tight line, and there's not much we can do here in the broadcast booth about that one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, it's the referee's job to make sure
Exactly.
things don't get out of hand. That's why you issue warnings in baseball when you start hitting people. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
like
exactly.
You don't want it to just turn into an all-around just physical game for the sake of being physical. I think I'm really happy that the referee didn't call anything on that big hit on Haas in the a few series ago. That right
I
after
agree.
he was able to pass it out. I mean, I think that hit's clean. I think that hit was clean too. But it might be a referee's job to settle it down a little bit. Maybe he thought that was a little bit of retaliation for that big hit. Maybe I don't know, but it does look like the Wyverns are going to get this ball. So I think it was a flag on Hebert for lowering the shoulder.
I think so too.
It was fun to see, though. I have to say.
I will admit that. It was cool to see, and you see that in other sports too. If you have a really hard-hitting play in football, for example, and it's an illegal play, and the ball's coming right back, but it is fun to see for the moment that it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it was really in that place. I mean, I know hard football hits can be really dangerous. Something like
Right.
that, when you lower the shoulder, you try to truck
Yeah.
somebody, it's not that big
I
of
don't
a
think
deal.
that it wasn't in the same vein
And
as
it
that.
didn't really, but I do love myself some Cam Chancellor. I miss him in the league.
Absolutely, me too.
But, I mean, look, those hard hits take a big toll on your body for sure.
Oh, for sure.
As there's a long shot and a nice save by Grills going down low. Now trying to get out of his own defensive zone as he'll flip this one out.
Grills has had an eye on the ball at all times. He's been really good at finding the ball through traffic and making sure that even really good shots by the Wyverns don't get past him.
This one's passed out. This could be a big opportunity. Nice defensive shape. As they shoot this one, it's blocked down and picked up by Kit. So he'll turn on the Jets, trying to run by a 2 as he splits the gap, and he's still got it. Fires this one in. It's a shot, and it's a goal. He put this one by. What a job by Kit to find Roy underneath, and there's goal number 11.
Wow.
It's a big-time play. Split the gap, turned on the Jets, found a teammate, and there you go.
And
Oh
you can
my
see how many
goodness.
different ways he excels at offense. And
Whew.
either you can either score it from way, way downtown or pass it. And he chose to pass it there, and it ends up being GFA's 11th goal. And you can just see what a force he is on this team, and GFA's so happy to have him back for the second game in a row.
I mean, nothing else you can really say about that. I mean, how do you guard? You can't guard speed.
Right.
You can't.
If you don't have the same speed, you have to be in the right position. And even so, they can just get by you in an open field situation. And he just has so much more speed than everybody else. You see that there's players on the field in every game that you just see them, and they're either faster than everyone else, they have better ball control than everyone else, or just playing better in some cases. And Kit just has so much speed, and he can place the ball so well that he's just able to shoot from wherever. The whole field is open to him in terms of where he can go, where he can place himself, and where he can shoot pretty much.
And the craziest part about that play is that, as crazy as it sounds, you have to be aware of the shot from Josh Kitt too in that situation, which really I think led to a lot of space for Roy, because they think, well, he can shoot this. I mean, we need to be careful, because if we guard the player, he'll go ahead and shoot and probably score.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or at least a big opportunity, a big chance to score. So you can't guard two players at once. I think he made the right decision to go ahead and pass it. But if they gave him the lane, if that cut off the player, I mean, it's just a tough situation to be when it's a goalie and a defender against two attackers, for sure.
Absolutely.
As this one was put up high and flinged back. Nice job to avoid some contact as he flings this one back to Edwards. Edwards running around, finding a teammate in there, and there's a one-time goal.
Great pass and shoot by Stevens. Well, Edwards passes, and Stevens is able to get that.
Oh, wait, are they calling this? No. Calling it off.
They're calling it off.
Called the goal off.
Interesting.
So they called the goal off. I don't know. Maybe I think they they said that Stevens was in the yellow circle. You can't shoot inside the yellow
right.
circle.
That makes sense. I think I saw that he was. I didn't know that.
It
rule.
made sense. He was pretty close
Yeah,
up.
He was close. He was very close, and I think it was a good call, actually, just to make sure it wasn't any goalie interference. But he's got the ball, and he's looking for some redemption here.
Spins around and finds McGrone outside. Nice stop and start. flings this one. That was a very ambitious shot, and if that went in, that might have been goal of the year.
I think so. I mean, if it would have rivaled Kit's goal just a couple seconds ago, or a couple minutes ago, but yeah, that probably would have been goal of the year if he was able to make that one in.
I would have loved to see that.
Absolutely.
Oh boy. But as this one ends, KO finally, or at least not this one, but the quarter ends rather. KO finally able to get their first goal, but not able to do much after that. It's been the Dragons commanding the game in the offensive zone now. Now they're going back to their old ways of just not giving it to KO's offense, but they had a few chances to score. It very well could be a different scoreline with KO having 2 more goals than they have, and GFA, since give 2 goals to the other team, I'd say you take 2 goals away from GFA.
Right.
So it definitely could be a 9-3 game.
Right, which is a different look in the game.
It is a different look in the game, and when you see you've sort of lowered the score a little bit. You've only give up 1 goal while scoring 3. It looks better, and 6 goals is definitely not as bad as it could be. But right now it's 10, and when you're going into the final quarter down 10, that's very tough to try to get over.
Yeah, that's tough to handle, and there comes a time when even you just kind of drown them in goals, where even if you have a good amount of time, I mean, they have 12 minutes left in the game. That's a lot of time to score goals, but it's enough time to score 10. And the way their offense has been going, and the way GFA's defense has been playing, I don't know. It's tough. Yeah. We'll see what offensive strategy they have. They might be in the phase where they're trying to play some strategies and play some plays and see what they can, what personnel they can utilize going into their next game, and see how they can perform well in the final few minutes of the final quarter of a game. And that is really a test of character, and it's really a test to see which players you're going to want to start next game, who can step up and do well even in time when maybe it doesn't count to the final score, maybe it doesn't count to winning the game, and we'll see who's able to step up here.
So we'll see if the Wyverns can win a face-off. GFA playing so well, and it's always great to get the win on Senior Day.
Absolutely. It's always nice to get the win on Senior Day. From soccer, getting that win. I can't remember if you guys won on Senior Day or not.
We did.
I think you did, yeah.
And it was a good game, too. It was just, you want to get that win. You don't want to, as a senior, you don't want to say, oh, I lost my celebration day. You also want to say you don't want to walk away with that. You also want to say you won on your last homecoming. Homecoming is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it just wasn't a thing this year because of COVID. But last year, it was a lot of fun.
I've always loved homecoming, and doing the homecoming games is always fun. We didn't do soccer last year.
We didn't.
But this year, if they had a homecoming game, I would have been right there with the call. And I love the energy on the field, and all the parents and families, and the alumni soccer game too. And it's really just awesome to see people you haven't seen maybe in years coming back to GFA and really celebrating with the teammates and the teams that win.
So it's McGrone spinning around. Puts this one in. That one's knocked down and maybe scooped up by KO. Has to get around Roy. Be able to get around that contact and keep stepping out of bounds. So be careful as Henske took a swipe. Couldn't find a teammate there, though. No goalie change yet for GFA, and I think it's probably because it's Senior Day. You want to keep
Grills
out there. We'll see if possession will go back to GFA with this. Kit checking back on the field on defense, getting that defensive reps in too.
And he can play really either way. He's a fantastic attacker, as we know, and his defense skills are very good as well. And that's just one of the reasons why they're able to utilize him in so many different situations, is because he's a great defenseman and a great offenseman.
They have his position down as a midfielder. That's really, when you're a midfielder, you can do it all and just go up and down the field. Definitely the most utility in a position. This looks like what are they calling?
They said something about subbing when they threw the flag, so maybe GFA, it wasn't...
Well, GFA's at a half position of the ball, regardless.
I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Now it looks like Kit's going to start with it from the center circle. So the Dragons will have another opportunity to score. As they pass it around, it's McGrone. Stops, looks for an option, and finds one. Back to Kit. Pass out the Roy. Now it's Haas. Thought about shooting, but didn't take that shot. It would have been a long shot with no angle. Still working the perimeter a bit. Again, don't really have any rush in this drive. They're up by 10 goals with 10 minutes to go. Not in the half or the quarter, but the game.
Right. So I think at this point, up by 10, they want to drain as much clock as possible and get a goal out of this drive. And I think a couple more drives like this where they are able to waste some time, pass it around, and then, if they can, get the goal on a shot that looks the best, then they might be able to hammer home a win there.
If there's a shot and a nice save on that pass, we thought Josh Kitt might have another shot on goal. And you see that's the same shooting motion, but he faked the shot and passed. It was a nice job. There's a nice swat out of the air by Murphy. It's going to be picked up by the Wyverns. There's a delayed penalty, and they call this one out of bounds, so it is going to be a penalty. Looks like, yes, slashing penalty on Kit on that defensive play. What do you think it was?
I was making sure to
So the Wyverns will have an opportunity to put a second goal up on the board, and at this point they're just sort of a silver lining goals at this point.
Think
just
so,
sort
yeah.
of a go home with something to write about towards the end of the game to say, oh, we scored more than one goal.
Right. I think that's definitely what they're in right now. Test out some plays, test out some strategies that may have been collecting dust in the back of the book, or that you may have not worked in some games, but
as it looks like they're doing right now as they take a timeout. So probably
Right.
going to talk about something that they went over in practice to try some new plays out for the next game. There's only a few more games
Exactly.
left in the season. That has been a good season so far.
it's been a great season. And GFA, I think they're either 6-1 or 5-2, but either way, they've done really well this season, and they've really held their own against fantastic opponents. And it hasn't been a normal season because I don't think there's any FAA league play because of the pandemic, but they've been able to hold their own in this season and play against really tough teams. Only lost by 1 to Brunswick, so that's definitely something to write home about this 2021 season. And they're playing really well in this game too.
Absolutely. They've given us a lot of action to get excited about in fall this year.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely been a lot of fun. Fun's not over yet. We've got 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in this one. And when play is resumed, the Wyverns will have a power play opportunity. Just for about a minute. The penalties don't last nearly as long as they do in hockey.
And it makes sense because you have more, I guess, I don't know if it averages out. You have more players on the field at any given time, but more space. And I don't know, maybe they just want to make sure that it's more important that you have even strength in this game versus in hockey, where I'm not entirely sure what the deal is. But either way, Wyverns go into this with a penalty and looking to get that second goal on the board, and that's something to write about home. And they're definitely looking for some positive to take at their next game. And you know that the GFA and girls basketball tries to be 1-0. And in anything they do, even if they lose the game, they try to take what they did well in that game and put it into their next game. That's kind of what Kingswood Offord's probably going to try to do here. They're going to try to take what they did well in this game, and definitely the drive that they scored the goal on was something they did positive, and try to make more of those positive plays, take it into next week or next game, whenever that is, and work from there.
So KO has a big opportunity to put goal number 2 on the board. Definitely want to get as many as they can towards the end of this one. Just sort of do some damage control. But right now they're down 10. Pass this one behind the goal. Has a player open with number 8, and he does find him. Thought about taking the shot, didn't have any angle as they reset up the top. Can't find a teammate. Looks like a flag is called on Carilla's defensive work as they find someone in the middle of the field, and there is the second goal. And are they going to call the penalty on top of that? Do they, or is it
sure. It
taken
might be
away?
An either or situation.
I know in hockey they take the penalty away if you score.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like he picks up the flag.
That'll be that.
Yeah, I think so. But great play by the Waverns.
Absolutely. Finding a teammate.
Exactly.
Finding a player inside. That's what they've been looking for all game, and that's the type of movement that they've wanted to see all game. It finally comes up there, so I guess the play that they talked about did work. If they had a few more of those, that probably would be a different game.
Absolutely, and that's kind of the sad part for your team when you're in this situation. You make the good play late in the game and things are not looking too hot on the scoreboard. You kind of say, well, what happens if we did that earlier? Where was that? Where's that been all game?
Exactly.
And honestly, when at that point you're like, it wasn't there in the beginning of the game. So you do what you can now. You play the game that you want to play, and you play the strategy that you want to play, and take that in the next week so you can be better on offense or defense.
As this one is picked up by KO, and even though the Waverns did score that second goal, I really don't think the Dragons have anything to worry about. Is thought about taking that shot, but doesn't. Takes that shot. It's tipped up by Grills. It's up in the air, and it's going to, looks like it's going to fall out of bounds. So KO's going to get this one back. Having more shooting opportunities now. Now, I'm not sure if that's because of a change of personnel on defense, with the starters coming out to avoid injury. I think that would probably be it. But it doesn't look like, looks like Murphy's staying in there, which is good for senior day, but I don't remember Grant Miller being a defender.
Yeah, no, he's definitely an attacker. He's played some defense in this game, but mostly he's been on the attacking side. And yeah, I think they're trying to change some personnel, especially put some seniors in who don't usually get to play on defense, or some underclassmen or juniors who haven't been able to have so much time on the field.
As there's Bodian getting around, losing the ball, but able to pick it back up. So substitution looks like Grills is checking out. So that'll be the end of his senior day. Had a great job for majority of the game. It wasn't really until they started changing personnel up in the backfield that he let up a goal. So I think if they kept their defense, it might have been first shutout of the year.
Right.
But you don't want to, risk injury to your players just so that you can get a shutout, because you're going to win either way.
Exactly. And I know a shutout looks great on the scorecard and then on the stat sheet, but you definitely don't want to risk an injury because of that. And he's a senior, but he still has some more games to play. And you don't want to, especially just for him, you don't want to make sure he has to deal with that kind of injury.
And this one is flung a long way, and it's caught. Taken now by Miller, screened by Bodian. Getting close to the final 6 minutes in this one. As now Jackson taking some contact, losing the ball. Taken now by Edwards, now Bodian. Passes this one to Miller. And now passing it behind the net. Getting it right back, though. Spins around, trying to create some separation. So now Roy passing this one inside, couldn't get it, and it's going to be picked up by KO. So they get a turnover on. Now they're trying to work the sideline, and they're able to get through. Has to be careful with Edwards as he hits the deck. They say he stepped out of bounds.
So Bodian will pick this up off of the turnover. And good play by both Edwards and Bodian to try to force him out into the sideline. I don't know if that was the strategy, but it works out that way. And now they're able to set themselves up well offensively.
Bodian gets this one back. I think nothing would make him happier than a senior day goal.
Absolutely.
As he's still trying to find a way through, as he will pass this back. It's Edwards. And I'll give it right back to Bodian. Give this one to Nick Orenstein. Happy to see him back. He's been out for a while, but finally suiting back up the play.
Absolutely, and we know Olivia Orenstein and Emma Orenstein on the girls' team. They're fantastic players, too. We haven't seen much of Nick Orenstein because he's been injured.
Jackson scores on senior day. Johnny Jackson puts one through. And there you go. There's a goal for him on senior day, and some seniors have scored.
Absolutely.
For sure. Well, how many? I believe there's a goal by McDonald, a goal by Jackson, a goal by
McDonald,
McGraw,
2 goals by McGrone, and then a goal by Jackson. And I think
that's 3 seniors
out of 3 seniors, yeah.
Out of the group.
And so Bodian definitely looking to get his goal. He had a fantastic game the other day. I think it was the Hendon Hall game.
It was a very good game.
He was on fire. And so we'll see how he fares up in this one. Definitely has had some offensive opportunities and definitely has had some time possession too. And we'll see towards the end if his teammates are going to pass it to him, trying to get him on the score sheet as a senior goal.
Yeah, it seems like the only seniors that are in a position to score a goal would be that's left is Henske and Bodian. And Henske's in here in the middle of the field. I'm not sure if I think he has actually scored a goal this season.
I think so.
On a GSPN broadcast too, I think. I know he's won a few face-offs. This one is down and picked up. Approaching the final 4 minutes of this one. GFA back up to a 10-goal lead. Now speeding it up. Fires this one through. Nobody's home. Are they saying it was tipped? They do. Still trying to find a pull through, just taking a quiet and slow approach right now. Again, you don't need to do much as he takes some contact and the ball is on the ground. Knocked out, picked up. And let's see. This one's going to go to the Dragons on the push. So Jackson will start play here in the final 4 minutes. Got 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Takes contact up high. And it's collected in the neutral zone. Going a long way with it, right around the goal. Stops, takes some contact. Ball on the ground, we'll see. They kick it around and it's picked up by the Wyverns. This will be brought back to the goalie. Tight defense played by Henske, who puts some pressure. And this one is loose ball, still on the ground, and it's going to be picked up by Jackson, who still has it. He's rumbling towards the goal. Could this be a second goal? No, just blocked away.
Lands in his shirt.
That is something I have not seen all season.
Neither have I.
The goalie will fling this one all the way and off Murphy's head. Still trying to get it, and it is going to be picked up by the Dragons in the backfield as they'll fling this one back to the goalie. Going a long way with it.
Kind of taking a page out of Grills' book there.
Good pass. Will he be able to keep this one in bounds? He is. Tight roping the sideline. This ball then goes out, so the Wyverns will get this one. They've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to work with. But we'll see if they can get out of their own defensive end. The Dragons applying so much pressure. He flings this one. It's thought it would be on the ground. Takes some contact. That ball is on the ground, and it's fighting for it. Still on the ground. There's a nice check to get that ball away. Just out of the reach of Roy. Is it still on the ground? Flipped away and picked up by the Dragons. A nice job. You can see the way he's holding that stick. It's a long defenseman's stick. And this one's up high for Orenstein, and that's a nice point-blank save. That's the type of shot that you might want to bounce when you're in front of the goal.
Right, exactly. Just try to create some more spin on it and some more confusion for the goalie. But when it's a one-timer like that, it's definitely hard to, you have to have kind of the shot in mind before you start to shoot it, because in the moment it's hard to change the way you're going to shoot it and shoot it effectively.
Nice check. But Jackson's able to get it right back and force some confusion on defense as that pass is wild. Wyverns will get this one back. And they'll start play as Henske tried to knock that one out. He couldn't get it. And it'll go back on defense. We're now nearing the final minute of this one. GFA now with a 10-goal lead. I think it's safe to say that they'll come away with a victory here, and they've looked good. Slowing it down this quarter with a few goals from some seniors, but
exactly. I think that was the strategy all along. If they were winning at this rate and fourth quarter. Late in the fourth quarter, they're going to want to pass it to the seniors and kind of slow things down. Make sure they're good sportsmen to KO. They don't want to pile it on when they don't have to. But also they want to make sure they give the seniors some goals because it is senior day. It's their celebration. And what better way to celebrate than if you score a goal?
As there is a shot that's tipped away. And the Dragons will have it. Here comes McGrone. Races past one. We'll see if he can get past another one. Bye-bye. Puts the defender away. We'll see. Gets by another one. He's still going as he slows down. Thought he might go to the hole. As he flings this one inside. Trying to get around a flip. That one's just wide. I thought that Henske might have a goal there.
Looked like it was a goal, but it just goes wide.
They've got 17 seconds to work with. I think that'll be that. I don't think they're going to go for another goal as they'll just hold it out, and that will do it. We've got 5 seconds, just sort of avoiding some contact. 2, 1. Buzzer sounds, and GFA has won their senior day on the back of their fantastic defense, stopping every chance until very late in the game for the Wyverns, and the Dragons come away with a very solid victory, not in the way that I thought that they would, although their offense was very, very good. Didn't come off of face-off opportunities. It came off of solid defense, like a brick wall back there, and Jack Grill's playing fantastic in the net, saving so many great attempts at the goal. And there you go. Not the way that I thought that they'd win this game, but a win's a win, and this was a very big win too, especially on senior day with some seniors walking away happy with the goals and a win. This one ends 12-10. Dragons take this one by, 12-2, take this one by 10.
Absolutely, and great play from the seniors and great play all around. GFA, fantastic play, and really the defense was the highlight of this game. Their defense played well and made sure they locked down KO's attempts because KO's offense had some sparks at times, but they shut that down, made sure they caused confusion in the KO offense, and then got to work offensively. And what a great day to have a senior day. Nice, warm, 73-degree afternoon on a Saturday, and GFA comes with a win.
Feels like summer out here, and we are inching closer and closer to summer. Gosh, I love the hot weather. I'm not a cold guy. I mean, I'm a Florida boy, so I'm just sort of not used to the snow and all that. But
yeah, I've lived all my life in cold places, but even I'm like, yeah, this is nice.
I'm ready for the warm. I've been wearing my hoodie for too long. Of course, by the end of it, I'm going to be sick of it. I'm going to say, put on the AC and let's get some snow in here. But for now, I'm happy to be outside and happy to have done this game. This has been a lot of fun. This was senior day and a nice victory for the Dragons as they'll try to continue their winning ways. I think they got 3 more games left on their schedule, maybe 4. But until then, we'll see you next time. This has been Charles Cohen and Isaac Moskowitz. We're so happy to have shared this with you. And from everybody on the GSBN broadcast team, we say thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time, next week. Signing off. Nice.